In the year 2000X, robots and humans live happily together until... Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Mega Man and some of the more obscure titles in the series. Despite the legacy collections that Capcom's been pumping out, a lot of games in the series still have yet to see any kind of resurgence. So in this video, we're going to try out a handful of these games.
Wily and the Lightの Rockboard! That's paradise!
The first game we'll be taking a look at is Wily and Light's Rockboard. That's Paradise for the Famicom. This game was released in 1993 in Japan, and although there were plans for a Western release, it never came to be. And after playing it, I completely understand why. Yeah, this game kinda sucks. To start off with, the character select leaves a lot to be desired. You have Dr. Light, Dr. Wily, Roll, this guy, and his Russian escort. But where's Mega Man? I get that it's a spin-off title, but it feels really weird not having Mega Man or any of the robot masters that the series is known for. We also have 4 stages to choose from: South America, the US, Africa, and Antarctica, or as the game likes to call them,
Green Continent, Megalopolis, Sand Continent,
and
Cold Island.
The stages have no real effect on gameplay, however, and it's mostly just Monopoly. You roll the dice and move across the board and try to purchase property and make money. If you land on a special space, you can receive a special card that gives you certain bonuses. And that's pretty much it, honestly. Just like Monopoly in real life, you have to wait for the other players to finish their turns before you can take yours, and this makes the game feel painfully repetitive and sluggish. It'd be cool if they had a skip feature or something, but even then, it's still not that great to play. This game honestly has no reason to exist, and it's not surprising at all that it never left Japan. I'm gonna give this game 1 star. Moving on to the Super Nintendo, we've got Megaman Soccer, released in 1994. The game starts off with everybody watching a soccer game on TV. It's a beautiful day for 2 teams are about ready to head onto the field. When suddenly, Dr. Wily's robots bomb the stadium and Dr. Light decides that the only way to defeat them is to reprogram Mega Man so that he's able to play soccer. Makes sense to me. Unlike the last game, there's a lot of playable robot masters to choose from, which is really nice. As for the game itself, well... it's soccer. Unfortunately, the game is a little slow and the controls don't really feel too great. You can press a button to steal the ball away from your opponents, but the same button is also used to do this thing where you catch the ball with your chest because it's soccer and you can't use your hands, and so it can get kind of frustrating. And on top of that, the matches are really long. You play for 5 minutes and then you have the halftime and then you play for another 5 minutes. That's way too much time to put up with these awful controls. But hey, you can do a cool special move that obliterates your opponents, so that's cool. But I think the worst part about this game is the fact that it doesn't have an ending. This is the only cutscene in the game. There's no other story besides this. This is such a huge oversight. How could you possibly not do this? It's not like you need to put some crazy animated cutscene into the game either. Just some text would be fine, but at least put something. Having said that, as annoying as this game can be to play, I did enjoy it more than the last game because, well, this one at least feels like a video game. 2 stars. Next on the list is a set of games I played as a child: Mega Man The Power Battle and Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters. These were the first and only arcade games in the series, with the first one released in 1995 and the second one coming out a year later. These games were only playable in Japanese arcades until the Mega Man Anniversary Collection came out in 2004, which is how I played them. Starting off with the first game, it feels like a fun spin-off of the classic series. You can choose from 3 playable characters: Mega Man, Proto Man, and Bass. You can also play with a friend, but I don't have any of those. You have a variety of stages, each with a boss assigned to it, and you have to fight him.
Welcome.
Gameplay-wise, you have a few moves like jumping, sliding, and shooting, with the added ability to wall jump, and you just spam the attack button until the enemy dies. And And since this is an arcade game, if you die, you can respawn immediately if you have enough tokens. Now, technically this game is considered a fighting game, but I'd argue it feels more like a classic arcade beat-em-up title from the 90s. It has a much faster pace than the original Mega Man games and is a lot easier and more approachable. The game also has a unique ending for each character, which I thought was a really nice touch. 4 stars. The second game is very similar to the first one, but with a lot more polish and added features. In the year 2000X, robots and humans live happily together until... In this one, you can choose from 4 characters: Mega Man, Proto Man, Bass, and Duo. Yeah, he sucks. This time around, you have 3 stories to choose from, and each one takes you across various stages from the Mega Man series, and completing one gives you a special ability. Gameplay-wise, it's pretty much like the last one, but this time, we have pickups like health, points, and this little thing that summons another character to help you. Rush lets you jump high, Beat gives you invincibility, Treble shoots the bad guys for you, and Duo gets the same one as Proto Man because the devs cared about him as much as I do. Additionally, enemies are now weak to certain weapons and can be stunned by using them, but you can only do this once per battle. All in all, these 2 are great games, and it's kinda disappointing that they were never released in Western arcades. They probably would have been pretty successful here. 5 stars. Next up, we have Mega Man Battle and Chase, a Mario Kart clone released for the PS1 in both Japan and Europe. This game plays like any other kart racing game of the era, but it has an emphasis on combat. The tracks have small enemies scattered around, and you can shoot them with your Mega Buster, which is pretty unique and fun. And if you kill enough of the enemies, you can get an item to use against the other racers, just like in Mario Kart. And winning the race allows you to take a car part from your opponents, which you can use to upgrade your own car. This game is pretty cool, but unfortunately, it feels really clunky to play. The tracks are usually very tight, which means turning at a high speed is very difficult, and there's no drift button. Instead, you have to initiate the turn a few seconds before the car automatically drifts on its own. The problem with this is it's not immediate, so you only start to drift after you've already overshot the turn. And on top of that, the tracks are badly designed. Like this one that loops around itself, causing you to go the wrong way easily, and then you can't correct yourself because the game also has no reverse button and you have to turn around, but you can't because the tracks are too tight. Oh my god, I fucking hate this game. 3 stars. Another game I wanted to talk about is the Misadventures of Tron Bonne, since I've never played it before. For those that don't know, this game is a spin-off of the Mega Man Legends series, and one of the good things about living in Japan is it costs this much instead of this much. Oh, and would you look at that, it's the cutest instruction manual I have ever seen. Going into it, I assumed this game would just be another tacky cash grab like some of the other games we've looked at, but honestly, this game is a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be. It's a fully fleshed out game with cutscenes and really nice voice acting.
Miss Tron! Look! Crab! It's a container full of crab meat! What?
And the gameplay is varied and fun. Each level has a unique playstyle. You have action stages, puzzles, and this dungeon crawling exploration thing. Sure, the gameplay can feel a little clunky by today's standards, just like the main Legends games, but overall, this game is just so charming and fun, it really makes me wish they'd actually finish Mega Man Legends 3. I honestly might have to make a separate video just for this game because it has a lot to offer and I was not expecting this at all. But as far as first impressions go, it's really good. This game gets a
top quality beefsteaks
out of 5. And there you have it. Those are some of the more obscure titles in the Mega Man series. Obviously, there are a lot more games that we could not get to in this video, but if you'd like to see me go over those games in another video, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Later.